All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Monikah Ogando. Welcome to Thursday Spiritual Matters here at the Daily Huddle. I am excited about today's topic because we're going to be talking about how can Tantra accelerate your spiritual journey. And I like to end with Tantra because it's a integration of all the things that we have been talking about since we first started our summer series. And so, what does Tantra mean? First of all, let me ask you if you've even heard of Tantra. Do you even know what Tantra is? Have you heard of it? Put a one in the chat if you have. I want to know where we are in terms of our language proficiency in terms of this teaching method. Okay, Chase says okay, great. So Tantra is, in a way, it really means, it's a Sanskrit word that means woven together. And in such, right, it's a holistic healing for body, mind, and spirit through movement, through meditation, and through intimacy. And so that intimacy can be something as simple as eye contact, right? In some cultures, I don't know if you've noticed this, but in some cultures, holding eye contact for too long of a time can be considered disrespectful because you don't have that level of intimacy or permission with that person. So holding eye contact can be seen like you're stepping on some toes, right? And in the same way, physical touch can be seen as disrespectful because you don't have the right to grab me there, etc. And so Tantra weaves together the ways in which we awaken and heal and integrate our body, our mind, and spirit through meditation, movement, and intimacy. And one of the reasons I believe, this is just my own personal opinion about this, we can talk about it and litigate it. That's what we're here for. But one of the things I believe is the reason why sex is so taboo. And people still to this day, in this great year of the 21st century, 2024, Beyonce's internet, we are still talking about sex like it's like, ooh, you're not supposed to, even though people love to have it, even though people have it a lot, even though that's how we all got here, it's pretty like just imbued in the fabric of human existence. We still talk about it like it's this thing that's supposed to be done behind closed doors, and you're not supposed to show skin, and you're not supposed to do this and third. And so Tantra dispels all of that by getting you used to being in your senses. And by senses, I don't just mean sexuality. I mean your senses, your eyes, your ears, your taste, your nose, your smell, your sense of touch, etc. There are ways in which you can interact with the world around you, or that you already do interact with the world around you through your senses. That if you were more present to your senses, you wouldn't need to rely on sex for intimacy so much. Does that make sense what I'm saying? If you were, let me say it again. If you were more present to the world in your senses, in your sensuality, you wouldn't need to rely on sex for intimacy so much, because that wouldn't be your only channel for intimacy. You would have intimacy through being present with trees, with children, with the seat that you're sitting on right now, with how your feet feel on the floor if you're barefoot like I am. And so exploring your senses allows you to create intimacy even just with your environment, if not another person, in such a way that you become present to the space you occupy in the world physically. And that gives you an idea of the space that you occupy in the world aurically, through your aura, through your energy. And when you can move into a room knowing being aware of how, it's kind of like an accordion, how you can expand and contract the energy that you take up physically and energetically, aurically in a room, you can run things. Have you ever been in a space where you are in a group of people, maybe it's a networking event, maybe it's a party or something like that out in public, and somebody comes in and all of a sudden it's almost like the energy goes to where that person is. Has that ever happened? Have you ever witnessed that? Have you been that person? Have you ever noticed this? This typically, and sometimes it's unconscious competence. Some people have that level of gravitas and they may not necessarily know that they have that gravitas. And then there's some people who are very much aware, honey, that this is what they're doing, right? And so one of the things that I want to cover with you today is about being aware of your own energy and how to leverage it. That's what Tantra can really do for your spiritual journey, is getting you aware of your own energy and how to harness it and leverage it. Laura says, I believe religion plays a role in demonizing the sexual act, deeming it as sinful. Yeah. Yeah, I believe that too. So let's do some like practical stuff right here, right now. Giovanni's laughing. What you laughing about, love, Giovanni? What you giggling about? Let's do some practical exercises right here. Wherever you are, whether you're in your car driving or you're listening to this replay or you are here live with us today, wherever you are, I want you to bring attention to your butt, to your gluteus maximus, darling. Yes. Where is it? Is it on a chair? Is it perked up, facing the ceiling? You're like this on your stomach listening to us, right? Where's your butt? And then notice what happened to your energy when I said butt. Or you're like, why are we talking about my ass? Or were you like, okay, this is going to some place where I was not as. So notice your physical energy, like where you physically are, and then notice your auric energy, where your attention, your emotions, et cetera, right? I'm fixing hair here. Where should this go? This should go this way. So then I want you to notice where your feet are. Where are your feet? Are they planted firmly on the floor? Are they crossed? Are they facing each other? Do you have your ankles crossed? Where are your feet? Where are your legs? When you can start paying attention to the lower half of your body, because wherever your butt is, not too far behind is your reproductive system. It's on the other side. That's where if you're a man, that's where your prostate and your penis and your testicles and all that stuff is over there. And if you're a woman, your uterus and your fallopian tubes are inside, but still on the other side of your butt. And many times what happens is we spend a lot of energy covering that up unconsciously. Even our fashion is designed to cover it up. A man can go outside in the public as long as he's wearing pants, right? A woman can go outside if you're wearing pants, but certainly you have to wear a bra as well to cover up your chest, right? But we spend a lot of time covering the parts of us that create humanity and nurture humanity. Yeah. And we sometimes spend so much time covering it up that we disassociate from it ourselves in our own attention, even when we are still carrying it, even when we are embodying that energy. Now I want you to pay attention to where your hands are. So we've covered the feet, we've covered the butt. Now I want you to pay attention to where your hands are. Maybe your hands are on top of a desk. Maybe one of them is grabbing a pen and you're writing some notes to yourself. Maybe you are caressing yourself. Maybe you are warming yourself up. Where are your hands? Don't change where your hands are. Just notice where your hands are. And that level of presence with yourself, you can do that with all of the areas of your body. You can do it with your hair, with your head, with your eyes, with your neck, with your chest, with your shoulders, your arms. Your hands, your waist, your breasts, your hips go all the way up and all the way down. You can be very clear about what your body is doing and what it is feeling. Maybe you have some tension in your upper back, or maybe it's in your lower back. Maybe you are having some growling in your stomach because you haven't had breakfast yet. Maybe your feet are a little tired because you've been running around all morning, right? So wherever you are, pay attention to what your body is feeling and what it is informing you of. Maybe your posture is crap right now. You need to straighten up your back. When you begin to notice what physical space you take up, from there, it is just a little jump to understanding what auric space you take up, because you'll know what your energy is. You'll know if you're tired, exciting, turned on, turned off, bored, sleepy, etc. Right? And when you can be aware of where you are, then you can understand why you are filtering the world the way you are filtering the world. Can we all agree that somebody who is tired is not filtering the world in a very positive way compared to somebody who is happy and relaxed and rested? Right? I mean, maybe it's just me. When I am not well rested, I am not pleasant, darling. I have transcended, not being pleasant because I'm hungry, because I fast, right? So hunger no longer affects my mood, but tiredness, sleep, she needs a nap. And so sometimes we try to deny our physical needs for the sake of a particular task or a particular outcome, such as, yes, I'm tired and I'm hungry, but I got to get this report out by deadline. Yes, I'm, frustrated, or maybe I'm sad, or my heart feels broken in a million pieces because I just got bad news, but I have a meeting right now and I got to put that to the side. Tantra allows you to integrate what is already happening instead of fighting or suppressing what is happening in your body, allows you to use it for what you are moving through. And I may have shared with you some time ago that I heard my father ask my nephews were fighting at some point in their playroom, and my father goes in there supposedly to break up the fight, and I'm outside in the other room, like in the living room, listening. And my father says to the older nephew, "¿Qué te pasa?" Which in Spanish we roughly translate that to like, "What's the matter with you?" or "What's wrong with you?" But I heard it very literally that time. I heard, "What is passing through you? ¿Qué te pasa?" And when I heard what is passing through you, I was like, ding, ding, ding. Whatever feeling I'm having, whatever thought I'm having, I could just let it pass through me. I don't have to marry this thing. I don't have to be committed to it. I don't have to let it define me. I could really just let it pass through. And having that presence of your own physical and auric energy allows you to own what's yours and to let other things pass through. Yeah. So I would love to hear your experience with Tantra, whether you've taken a class, whether you've gone to a retreat, whether you're a Tantra practitioner yourself, what you've read about it, what you're curious about. Let's talk about it so I can open this up, and then I'll know what questions to answer. Who wants to say something? Ooh, Florence, let's do it.
Hey, a lot of things like Tantra and so forth, I'm aware, I'm not aware of exactly all the nuances of the practice, but I practice them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But recently, I have let shingles pass through me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes. And has a lot, well, just what I did, all I did was say, listen, shingles, you can jump in a lake.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not allow it to have me. I just let it pass through me. And I said things like, you know what? These people in the Gaza, look how they're dying. These kids are dying. And the universe, I am the universe is me. And that's like one part of the universe is suffering, or certain parts of the universe are suffering. Okay, so Shingles is here in my body. It kind of represents some of what the ailments and the suffering of some of those people. So every time the pain came or oh Lord, shingles is not easy. But guess what? I just sent my mind over to this people that are suffering all over the world and all of this, and I let shingles just pass through me.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, I didn't even know when it left because
Oh,
I
wow.
wasn't focused on it.
Yes,
And
that's the
I
key.
I went to the doctor and I was going to show her. I pulled my clothes up and I was going to show her. And then suddenly I'm like, whoa, it's not there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not there. So I am aware of what you're talking about and practice it sometimes, a lot of the times on like just naturally without doing the practice like of tantric yoga or whatever. Yeah, so that I'm complete.
Yeah, yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you for that, Lawrence. Who else?
I'll jump in. This is Laura.
Hi.
Hi, Dr. Ogando. Thank you for this conversation. At a young age, I was exposed to certain books, and Love Song Rampa was one of the author that I was introduced to.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to just read whatever book I got my hand on at the time. So the introduction to Tantric Buddhism at the time was really strange to me.
Mm-hmm.
And all I thought about it then was wanting to have, sex. And it was all about sex. I really didn't understand the whole of what Tantra was then.
Mm-hmm.
Then as I grow, or as I came here and I have a friend, and she was like, "Oh, I'm going away to study Tantra." And I'm like, "What?" Because all in my head that it was all about sex. So, I learned later on more about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to date a Rastafarian, in my younger age. And he was the one who exposed me to Lobsang Rampa because,
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes, and taught me so much. So I am grateful and I'm happy that, you're bringing more awareness to this topic, this subject. With
Awesome.
that, I'm complete. Thanks.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I studied Tantra with Devi Ward Erickson. She's the only person, authentictantra.com is where you want to go for if you want to know more about the school I went to. And they're the only accredited Tantra school in the world, actually. But they're based in Canada. And it is based on the it's the Tibetan five element philosophy, right? So there's five elements that we are all comprised of in our physical reality: earth, water, fire, air, and space or ether. And those five elements are what comprises the Tibetan five element Tantra. And so our bodies, our clothes, our food, our homes, our computers, our cars, literally everything that exists in this physical creation consists of those five elements in varying degrees. And the whole idea of Tibetan medicine is when you can bring those elements into balance and harmony, then you experience good health and wellness and of body, mind, spirit, and sex. And you can live in harmony with the world around you as well. So yeah, it's a deeper philosophy than just sex. So I'm glad that you brought that up. Giovanni, come on up.
Mhm.
Hi.
So, for me, the I think one of my limitations in life is to talk about openly and in public, like what we're doing right now, about uh, anything in some degree associated with the associated with sex or associated with the intimate experience with another person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that has been a real struggle for me. I don't like it. for some reason, I don't know what happened when I was young, but I just like, it's like really private, right? And however, that, however, I have made my life to be about having intimate experiences with people.
Yes.
I have made my life to be about that. And I feel I don't have a powerful relationship with my body. I don't see my body as a temple. I don't
What
see
do
my,
you see it as?
was that
What do you see it as?
a vehicle, not a temple, you know, a
Okay.
vehicle. It creates this opportunity for me to have this human experience in some degree, right?
Yeah.
And yet it is my access to have intimacy and powerful and beautiful and juicy and chocolate relationships with people. And so, I'm in this dichotomy and in these two worlds, or this conversation is opening up these two worlds. One is the world of intimacy, and I'm all about intimacy. And you were pointing to, you need to have sex to be intimate with people. And that's the experience of my life is that I am really intimate with people. When I meet with people, I feel the expression of love and I feel the energy, and we're making love in that conversation. Obviously, I never say that, right? And they are not saying that to me, but it's real. I mean, we love being with each other,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But I don't want to talk about sex. That leaves me like, ugh, I don't want to talk to you about sex.
Okay, yes, I get that.
And so, but I'm all about that. That's all I care about, and my life is about that. And interestingly, I haven't been able to transcend inwardly, if you will, to see my body as a temple. I don't put any creams on myself.
Don't
I
tell me
barely
you go around being ashy, Giovanni. Are you going
I
around?
barely cut my nails. Let's just say that. Like, I have to because you have to, but otherwise, who cares? So, and obviously I shower, right, and all of that. But anyway, it was just, all of that was being triggered in this conversation, and I thought it was very interesting and something I'm discovering.
I love that you mentioned that because I too had a very transactional relationship with my body. And it took going through cancer for me to repent from such a reductive relationship with my body. And I may have shared with you what happened when I created like a dyad with my body. I was like, what's going on? And I pretended as though this is me over here, my idea, my consciousness. And on the other side of the chair, or of the dyad, was my body. And my body said, excuse my French, you guys. I know you guys are all, sanctified and holy, but my body said, I'm your best friend, bitch. And you decided to come here. I was the first one that showed up as a unicellular organism in your mama's womb and then expanded to be the fetus that you then later on grew up to be. And when you leave, I will be the last one to disintegrate somewhere in some cemetery. And you treat me like crap. I'm hungry, you don't feed me, or you don't feed me the right things, or you don't let me rest, you don't let me rest efficiently. You force me to do things that I don't want to do. Sometimes you use sex to get close to people, and that's not what I want to do either. You guys remember that I have a history of sexual abuse in my childhood. And so when I had that kind of like come to Jesus, as it were, with my body, it really convicted me. It was like, oh my God, I really have been a shitty friend to my body. I forced it to read things far and close, and it caused me to wear glasses and contacts since I was little. The scars that I have are from just me being careless and falling and, all this other stuff. And so it was a reckoning of how I use my body as a transactional vehicle, to your point, as opposed to this friend that helps me create intimacy, that helps me move into the physical world, and that is always with me unconditionally, no matter what paces I put it through. And so Tantra allows us to have that connection with our senses and have that connection with our presence in the world. Because if you've noticed, some of us have had somebody pass away, transition, and their presence, their energy is still with us, even though their physical body is not. So Tantra allows you to cultivate both your physical presence and your energy so that when your body's no longer here, your presence is big enough to where you can still be in the physical world, even though you're not physically in it, to be physically in the world, but not of it. And so I just really encourage everybody and exhort you to read up on Tantra, to get a webinar, get a retreat, get a workshop, delve into it for yourself, if not for your relationships, for you to deepen the relationship that you have with your own physicality and your own world. Even the things that you don't like about your body is doing in service to you. Here's what I mean. If your body is carrying extra fat, for example, you're thinking, oh, this is ugly, or this is unattractive, or et cetera, et cetera. Your body is doing that to protect certain organs. And energetically, it's there to protect you from certain feelings you don't want to face. The cravings, the hormonal imbalances that you have, the chemical imbalances that you have are what your body is doing to compensate for the energetic imbalances that you're experiencing. You balance yourself energetically, you won't need the physical compensation. They go together. And so when you heal certain emotional wounds, when you heal certain energetic wounds, your body catches wind of it and it's like, oh, I don't need the weight anymore. I don't need this gout. I don't need this disease anymore. She got it. She paid attention, just like what happened with me in cancer. It's like, oh, you heal the feminine? Oh, okay, we don't need cervical cancer anymore. Okay, stand down, everybody. White cells, sit down. And so that's the opportunity that I want you all to have. Thank you, Giovanni, for bringing that up, because it really made me think about that. It was very transformational, that experience. Florence says, my paternal grandmother has been with me all my life. Yeah, we have these presences, right, of people who have loved us and who are in our lineage. And reintegrating, to your point, Florence, reintegrating our existence. Anybody else? Last comment, last question? Okay. Well, then I will leave you to the rest of your morning. Thank you, everybody, for being with us today. Remember to love generously and give of your energy, your time, your attention. Eat more plant-based foods, stress less, move more. Remember that Kundalini raising exercise that we fondly call twerking in this culture. I want you to get yourself at least 7 or 8 hours of sleep, and always audit your assumptions. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. We love you, everybody. See you next time.
Thank you, Dr. Ogando. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ogando. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.